Good morning and welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. This is still Sunday. I'm doing 2 videos today, but I don't think I'm going to do a third because we know what happens when I try to do 3 videos in one day. Okay, so I'm not going to do this page right now because it's going to have time to dry. It's going to be similar in nature to the other Santa page that we did with the napkin and such. It's going to be similar to this, but not quite. And no, I still haven't finished it, but I'll do that later. My brain is thinking about ways that I want to work on these pages. And so we did this in the last video. And because this is really bulky, I'm thinking, okay, what do I need to do? This white page is driving me crazy. So I'm going to, I'm going to decorate it, but it's not going to have a pocket or anything. It's just going to be decorated. So what I'm going to do is I will get, let's see, I can do this part really quickly. I just want to kind of show you what I'm thinking and talk my way through it. So that way, if it's something that you want to do, oh, I hope that wasn't too loud. Sorry. If it's something that you want to do, then of course you can. Let's see, I'm gonna go, I'm off, I know. Sorry, I was just looking at the music notes and what I wanted. And see, and I don't want that much. So maybe just at the top of this one. And I'm not worried about, oh my gosh, I tore this and now I'm not gonna use it, because I'm going to use it. I use music in a lot of my pages. I love using music. I don't know what it is. It just makes me happy. And generally in music, I don't have to worry about language or anything like that. I just use it. So okay. So let me tell you what my thought process is. Then I'm just going to clip this in here because it's going to be oh my goodness, wet. It's gonna be wet, and it's got to dry. I mean, the humidity is up today, so it's definitely something that I'm gonna have to leave it alone until it dries. Now, yes, there will still be a little bit of white space on here, but don't worry, that's going to get covered. So what is going to happen is I'm going to Mod Podge, or maybe I'll probably use matte medium so that it's just a different medium to use. There's no particular reason, and use what you have. And honestly, I could use glue stick as well, but I'm not going to use glue stick because I want this napkin sealed. I'm going to end up painting and splattering and just adding some color to this page. Not a lot, because I don't want to cover the ornaments and stuff. If you watched the waterfall folio, or not the folio, oh my goodness, the waterfall journal series, I did a journaling card similar with a napkin, and then I put music at the bottom because the napkin wasn't big enough for the card. And so then I splattered and just kind of tied it all together that way. And that's what I plan to do with this. And I chose this napkin because I think the colors kind of tie into this page. So that's going to be this page. I do have a card drying for in here. What it is, it's pages out of a 1966 almanac. It's the December page. So I've just glued that to a book page in between. Once this is dry, I'll cut it down. It's a little too long to fit in there, but I want to keep this whole because I'm going to put what's the word? Oh my goodness, excuse me. One of these deals. Eyelet, grommet, I don't know. Put one of those in there and do like a little bit of a dangle, so that will kind of come out of there. And actually I won't use red because that red is too vibrant, but I just wanted to show you so you kind of have the gist of what's going on there. And it won't be a big dangle because again, we're getting into bulk. So that is going to be that page. I glued that down in the last video. I still haven't glued that envelope there. We still need to do something with that. Okay, so I think this one is starting to get a little full. So I'm going to, I still have to make lots of cards and things for pockets. So I've got to get my behind in gear because what is today's date? I mean, today is already, oh, July 24th. I got to get busy. Okay, so I have a plan. I haven't done this before. Andrea Artimaze has done this. I've seen her do it. I have a concept. I haven't practiced, and I'm not going to practice. We're just going to go with it. I just want to find the page that I want to put it on. It needs to be something that's a little bit more stable to fit. And I think I'm going to maybe do it on, I could do it here, maybe, because it would stabilize that page. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so what we're going to do is do, where's my stuff? Okay, I have my punch, I have my eyelets, I have my twine over here behind me. We need paper. And I'm going to probably use this as the background page. I'll have to cut it to size and glue that in there. But before I do that, I want to make a little, I don't know if I want to use, no, just do it. Stick with what you're doing, because that's going to give us a picture behind here. I'm going somewhere with this. I just am not sure how I'm going to explain it to you. Let me just get a new piece of paper. Let's just grab a new piece here. And you know what? We're going to just use the other, this one. Do I have a scrap of this somewhere that would work? Hang on. Excuse me, I just sneezed and I'm like, oh, goodness. Right when I hit the start back button, oh, I started to sneeze, so I had to stop and redo, and I'm still sniffling. I apologize. Okay, so kind of what the premise is this. So this light blue panel is going to be glued to the back of to this white space, okay? So that'll be decorative there. This has a little flip down, which I'll show you how to do that in just a second. I did one, and then I'll show you how to do the other one, although I didn't ink it. So let's get some ink on that. And I'm just going to use the blue. I just like that it blends in really nicely. I think it looks nice, and we'll go from there. Oh, goodness. Oh, it looks like it might try to rain. I sure hope it does. We really need it. Okay, so that will get glued on there, right? So this will flip up. Oh, I didn't even plan for that, but that's great. The light blue there, hopefully you can see that. You'll see it on the bottom. Okay, so then what I did, and we'll need a closure, so I may do something like, I don't know, probably not that, but we'll figure out a closure. So what I did was I got my scoreboard, and you do not have to have a scoreboard. If you do not have a scoreboard, just measure, take your ruler, and crease. You know, you could fold up, or, you know, or this way and fold up, whichever is easier for you. You can measure and crease to fold that up. And that would replace a scoreboard. You could take your bone folder. You can take an embossing tool. This is just my Dollar Tree embossing tool. You have lots of options for scoring things. Okay. If you're scoring, know that valleys make mountains. Okay, so I'm going to make this a valley, but then it's going to become a mountain when I fold it under. That is not mine. I don't remember who I heard that from, but it's a very helpful, very, very helpful. So depending on which way you want to fold it, you know, you may have to flip it upside down and score. You know, if I wanted that blue side, it just, you know, just be mindful of which way you want it to be. That's all I'm going to say. So for this, I'm going to score it at a 1/2 inch. That's how I did the other one. Make sure you hold your paper still. Okay, now I'm done with the scoreboard. I can put that away. I'm going to cut both of these corners. Just, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to make sure that that's going to hide. You know, I'm not going to see that when it's glued to the back of my piece here. And then, you know, now my valley is going to become a mountain, okay? See? So, now I did the 1/4 inch on my corner chomper. Okay, so that's prepped. I can put my corner chomper away. For now, I need my, I have to think about this now. I I was not prepared for this aspect of it because I don't have my paper chosen for this. However, I think what I want to, okay. So basically, when this is all put together, get back in screen for you, I apologize. When this is all put together, like so, these are going to open and we have a surprise. We have a picture, and that I will back that and make it a journaling card. But we're going to have a closure on here. And so the closure on this, I think, is going to be a little punched out bit. So I have to figure out what scrap of color we want to use for that. And it doesn't have, I mean, it can be, oh, you know, a snowflake would be really cute, because then the brad would just go right in the middle of that snowflake. So let's see, is that going to, that's not quite big enough, see that? To get the whole thing, but that one is really close. I think I like it. And then let's do, is this one? Yep. Okay, so there are 2 circles, but now we need 2 more circles, and I will explain that. Boom, ba-doom. Okay. Good enough. Okay, so set that aside. Now, the reason that I cut 2 circles is when we use our brads, see what colors do we want to use. I just have this little tray and it's got some little brads in here. And I was thinking, I have some Christmas colored brads, but they're really bright red and bright green. They're very traditional bright green and red. So I think that they'll be a little bit too bright for this. So I think I want to use a more subdued color. I'm trying to get a hold of these. This is part of my problem. I need my tweezers. Maybe we'll just do gold. No, that's in the middle of the snowflake. So let's do silver. Yeah, I like silver for this. I mean, it's personal preference. I feel like the silver is more appropriate for the snow lake, but I can't get a hold of it. Fickle fingers, that's what they are. Okay, so set that aside. I better make sure that latches. This is just my container. If you know, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that's my travel container of little things, and it actually has just been really handy to keep it on my table versus putting it all away because we're home. But okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So these are going to be our pieces that show, and these are going to be our bottom pieces. Now, that hole punch that I have is not my friend. I don't like it. It doesn't always give me a clean cut. But, you know, if you don't get a clean cut, you just ink it. And guess what? It goes away. It goes away. So on the inside, I want the solid red, or the mostly solid red. I mean, it has a design, but... And then on the outside, I definitely want that snowflake. So just inking around those. Not that you guys want to see me ink, but it really makes the white go away. And I like that. It's personal preference. You do not have to ink. Okay. So my hole punch, my little brads, and I need my hole punch. Now this are the small brads, so I want my small hole punch. Does this say what size it is? It does not, but I don't know. Can you see the little? It's really small. So I'm going to just come right here in the middle of my snowflake, kind of, and punch a hole. Super exciting, right? And then put the little brad in there. Oh, I have snowflake brads. Where are those? Hang on. Well, I must not have them downstairs. I'm not going in the attic. It is just way too hot to go in the attic right now. Okay, so we're gonna stick with the silver ones and just be happy with it. Okay, so now what's going to happen is I need to find the center of my bears. And that is going to be approximately, let's see, C6. 2 9/16. Okay, so I'm going, because we're like 5 1/4 wide ish. Okay, so I'm just going to figure out where I want this to be. I mean, I could have it poking up, I could have it down. I don't think I really want it quite over the bears totally. I mean, maybe, I guess we're not really going to have a choice, are we? Okay, so anyway, I'm going to poke a hole in the middle and then put this through and then glue the back. So I will show you what that looks like when we come back. So find the center of your piece, you know, put a dot where you want your hole punch to go, push your brad and your top piece through, and then you want to glue the back piece to it. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm having difficulty with doing this on camera because of the measuring and everything. Let me try to do one. Let me just try. Let me try. Hopefully you can see here. I had my phone just like was going off and I thought, oh, maybe we're going to get some rain. Nope, still all in Canada. Still all in Canada. And boy, do we need it. I mean, boy, this paper is hard to see that pencil dot. And you want to kind of be sure, because once you punch it, you've punched it. Okay, so that's gonna go, oh, and it will pop over the top a little bit. So that's cool. And then we're going to split this. Now, be very careful when you split your brads, because if that goes up under your nail, oh my gosh, it really, really hurts. Again, ask me how I know. So sometimes it's better to use like a pokey tool or something, which I need to get to Dollar Tree. Sorry with my big arm in the way. So what I'm going to do with my pokey tool, hopefully you can see, is I was just going to get it down in between those and split it apart. Now don't hold your thumb there and do it, because you'll stab yourself. You don't want to do that. You just want to be very careful, and you're just trying to get those apart so you can get a hold of them to push them down. Okay. Now I'm not going to do it super snug because that's a little too snug. I need to be able to get some twine around that. So let me loosen it just a little bit. And sometimes these are not the best quality, so you want to be mindful of that as well, where you don't move it too many times. The brad itself or the prongs can break off, which is really frustrating when you're working on a piece and your prongs break off. I think, oh, I do have silver. We're going to use silver. Yeah, I'm going to use silver. I picked up gold, but I think I'm going to use silver. And it's a little thinner. So let's just put some twine around that. I'm not tying the twine right now. I'm just trying to get the right, I just want to get some of that, kind of like where I want how much loosiness I need. Loosiness, you like that word? How much play I need so that I can get the twine up under that coin, okay, to tie it. And I think that's going to be good. Yeah. Okay, so let's get just this glued down. Oops, put it on the right way. Okay, and I want to make sure that I'm lining that up, because I'm making that to, you know, to hide the back of this, so I don't want it to be crazy looking, you know. So crazy. All right. Now, I'm going to use, do I want to use art glitter glue? No, I'm going to use this. Now you could put cheesecloth or anything, you know, if you want something fluffy hanging out, you can do that. So I've just gone along my back with my glue and I'm lining up my circle. Now, this is where it gets kind of tricky, I think, because you don't want that gap at the top. You want to make sure that you're holding that together. So I'm going to put a clip on here just to hold that so it'll glue. Okay, so it'll hold. Yeah, you know what I mean. Okay. So I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to let them set for a second and then start getting the back panel glued on while these are holding, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I think we're dry, and I know I said I was going to come back and glue and then come back, but I didn't say something that was very important. So I'm glad I didn't glue until I came back to tell you. So don't glue anything yet. I inked around this with my blue. You don't want to glue this down first because this has to tuck behind here, okay? So I purposely have a little bit of a gap on both sides. That is preference. I mean, I could shave that off. Let me see. Do I want to shave that off? And I cut my light blue piece slightly smaller than my white page, again, to try to keep that bulk out of the spine. So again, that's preference. That's my preference. This can be your preference, whatever you want to do. And, you know, I think I am going to just shave maybe 1/8 of an inch off of the light blue, just because it might drive me crazy that it's not lining up just right. It might not, it might, but why risk it, right? So I'm just going to take a little bit off, not a lot, not too much, and then go ahead and hit that edge again with the blue. Okay, and I hope I've said welcome. I don't know if I've said welcome in this video and asked how everybody was doing. Hopefully I did. I'm thinking I didn't, so I apologize. I hope everybody's doing well. This is fun. I've got to be getting this project finished. It's like I said, the 24th, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have a long way to go. But that's okay. I'm gonna get it done. Still haven't had a rainy day. I've been kind of hoping for, a rainy day to get in here and work. And I was just telling my husband yesterday, I said, oh, I just feel like my priorities are out of whack right now with everything we've been, no, let me rephrase that. It's not my priorities. My priorities are the same. My priorities are pretty stable. It is that I'm really just, again, we've had so much going on. I've just been really overwhelmed, and I haven't been able to come in here and focus and feel like not only just giving you guys the best that I can, you know, but even myself, as I said in the previous video, I mean, I couldn't even pick out random fabric scraps to come in here and stick on a piece of muslin to slow stitch. I was like, oh, goodness, but that's okay. I'm better today. But I just have to get some stuff done. And this is really funny because, and yes, kind of in a ha-ha way, I need a quilt for the RV bed. And I've been kind of thinking about what I want to do and what I want to make, because I want to make it. I have lots of fabric and I need to use it. So I was thinking, okay, I'll make kind of a scrap quilt or whatever. And then I saw a color scheme and I loved, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't have enough fabric in that color scheme to use. Well, on my way home from Erie the other day, because I had, what day was that? Friday? I had an appointment with my PCP. And I stopped on a whim, I stopped at this little quilt store. I-90 is under construction, and it's a really big pain in the behind right now. Both east and westbound. Like, I'm trying to avoid it at all costs because it can be backed up. I mean, to the Ohio state line, which doesn't mean anything if you're not familiar with the area, but I mean, the backup can be for miles, and I just cannot stand to sit in traffic. So I go a different way, which is out of the way and a little bit longer, but it's a prettier drive. So anyway, the moral of the story is this little quilt shop I didn't even know was there. I know there's a really nice quilt shop in Erie on one of the main drags, but this one I didn't know was here because I don't typically go this way. And I had, so anyway, I discovered it the other day. Anyway, so I went in and I was, you know, the lady she was really, really nice. And she was like, can I help you? And I said, no, I'm just being nosy. And she goes, oh, okay. And I said, no, I just stumbled across you. I wanted to see what you had in here. You know, and I told her what I needed to do and what I needed to make. And one of the gals that was in there, she was like, she was long arming a really, really bright, fun quilt. It would be perfect for a little girl's bed. But anyway, I said, you know, this is what I need to make. And I'm trying to get ideas, and I have tons of fabric. And I said, you know, a person who lives kind of in the neighborhood, his wife passed away, and so he was selling all of her fabric. So I got totes of fabric last summer at a yard sale. Anyway, and I hope that I might have to squeeze some art glitter glue in that. Anyway, so I'm just taking my baker's twine. I know, I'm like, oh, you know what? Oh, did I do that wrong? No. Oh my gosh, Jody. Okay. I'm just taking my baker's twine and just tying a little knot in here, okay? I didn't need to glue that below the bottom because this was going in there. Durr. Okay, whatever. So where's my scissors? Nip that off. Anyway, so this lady had this really, really, really super cool scrappy quilt hanging on the wall, and I was like, what pattern is that? And so she had told me the creator of the pattern. Well, I can't find the pattern online, but I think I can pretty much do it myself, just based on what she told me about it. But anyway, so yeah, I was talking to Mark about the colors or whatever, and I said, so I really wanted something to be neutral and warm, and you know, and he goes, yeah, but you have all that fabric. I'm like, I know. Boy, I do not like that. Oh, no, it's okay. Yes, I'm arguing with myself. It's fine. I backed this with some player piano roll, and so that's going to slide in there, right side up. So he'll be a kind of a peekaboo. You'll be like, oh, what's in there? And it'll be him. And then I want to put a charm on the end of this. Maybe I just want to go this way. This doesn't really matter. This is personal preference. So anyway, he says, well, just use your scraps. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll just use my scraps. So I'm going to use my scraps and see what I can come up with. But anyway, so he says I just have too much going on. Too many projects I want to do. And he goes, you're not going to have time to do that before we leave. And I'm like, I know I'm not. Oh, there's a snowflake. How perfect. So anyway, but we have a trip planned in October, and I'm meeting up with one of my friends, or we are meeting up with a friend. She and her husband also have an RV, and so we're going on a trip and meeting up. And I'm going to take my featherweight with me because she's told me to stop being afraid of it and start using it, as did the person who gave it to me for my birthday a few years back. So I'm going to take my featherweight, and they're going to show me how to use it, and I'm going to use it to sew on the road and not take my brother's sewing machine, not my sibling brother. She says that her featherweight is what she always takes on the road with her, and it's perfect for traveling. So I guess there's that. Okay, so we have our page done. So that was kind of my idea. It's not perfect, but that's okay. Not everything I make is perfect. It is just fun, and I love it. I'm happy with it. But I do want to take a bone folder and just kind of go over that, so maybe it'll lay a little flatter. And you can do that before you glue it if you want. That's up to you. So I like it. Okay, so now let's go back to, because I know we are getting, let me see what time we're at. Okay, we're at 28 minutes, so I'll probably just end this here. I do like that. You need to cooperate. I may redo the string, but it'll be okay. So I'm trying to stop saying I am going to come back to the page with this napkin. I'm going to get this glued down, and it has to completely dry. So maybe in the next video, we'll do a little bit of play. The problem that I have with playing with the paints is the heat tool. I haven't figured out how to take sound out of videos, and my heat tool is really loud, and I don't think that would be pleasant for your ears if I were to use the heat tool on the screen. So probably I will just do that. But if it's something that you're going to do, the easiest thing is to do this before you sew your signatures in, because then you don't have to protect all your pages. That's not an option. I'm sewn in. So be very careful. Make sure you tuck something in on this page really snugly, so that way you're not getting anything on pages where you do not want it. Then like on this page also, I will make sure that that's down in the crease and not going to get paint splatters on this page, because I'm only going to want this on this page. I figure what I'll use is, let me get my colors so you know. This one, and just a little bit of gold. No, this one's the one that's open. Okay. Sorry about that. So I will use, this is Folk Art Matte True Burgundy, because I think that will look really nice. Hopefully you can see the color. This is Folk Art Matte Hunter Green. This is number 456. This is number 406. I did get these at Hobby Lobby because my Walmart doesn't have very good selection of colors right now. And then again, my Ceram Coat Select. This is a metallic in gold. This does not have a number on it. Again, I did not pay $2.29 for this. I'm cheap. I won't pay that. So those are the three colors that I'll use. So I'll get it glued down completely, let it dry. I will just water down just a little bit of the red and green individual, because they'll make brown if they mix. So I will dry the paint in between each splatter and then splatter with gold as well and make sure everything's good and dry. So that's the plan for this page. So when I come back in the next video, that will be done, and hopefully I will have more than that done. But I have to go take care of some things and just try to work on this in between. So I will see you in the next video. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, you know how much I love and appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of the kind words and support, and just, I cannot believe the wonderful response with this video. I really appreciate it. Just thank you so much for the love and the kindness. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.